I lied to my devious coworker about having my wallet. So she tried to dine and dash. So I'm Derek, and I've got this story about my coworker, Mary, that's just too wild not to share. It all started at this job I've been stuck at for a few years now. Nothing too glamorous, just your study room. Your typical office gig. You know the drill, coffee machine politics, endless meetings that could have been emails, and a roster of characters that could fill a sitcom. But among them, Mary takes the cake. Mary's one of those people who's got the charm turned up to 11 when it suits her. But man, she's as devious as they come. Always finding ways to shirk responsibilities, manipulate situations to her advantage, and generally make everyone else's life harder. I guess you could say she's the office villain, and I somehow became her favorite target. Now, I'm not the type to stir the pot, but when someone keeps poking you with a stick, you either roll over or poke back. And let's just say, I was done rolling over. It all started when our team got this massive project dumped on us. The kind of project that makes you consider if you've got enough sick days to fake a chronic illness. The boss decided we should all bond over a team dinner, probably thinking it'd boost morale. Spoiler, it didn't. We end up at this swanky restaurant, the kind where you look at the menu and immediately regret not marrying rich. Everyone's there, including Mary, who somehow managed to snag a seat right next to me. Great. Just great. The night's going as expected. Awkward small talk, forced laughter, and Mary constantly trying to one-up everyone with her amazing stories. Halfway through the night, she leans over and says, "Hey, Derek, you think you could cover me? I forgot my wallet at home." Now, this wouldn't be the first time she's forgotten her wallet, and I'm not the type to say no, but I was fed up. So, without thinking, I blurt out, "Sorry, Mary, I left mine at home too." The look on her face was priceless. She was stunned, and for a second, I thought I might have finally shut her up. But no, Mary's wheels were already turning. "No problem," she said with a sly smile. "I'll figure something out." And that's when I knew something was up. Dinner progresses, and I try to enjoy my overpriced steak while keeping an eye on Mary. She's unusually quiet, probably concocting some scheme to get out of paying. Everyone's chatting, and the atmosphere is surprisingly light, but I can't shake the feeling that something's about to go down. As dessert rolls around, Mary's been on her phone a lot, texting like her life depends on it. I overhear bits and pieces of her conversations with the people around her, dropping hints about how she needs to leave early or has some emergency to deal with. Classic Mary, always setting the stage for her grand escape. When the bill finally arrives, the table goes silent. It's one of those moments where everyone's trying to figure out how much they owe without making eye contact. Mary, of course, is already halfway out of her seat. "Hey guys, I really gotta run. Emergency at home. Can you cover me? I'll pay you back tomorrow." Before anyone can say anything, she's gone. Like Houdini level gone. And I'm sitting there, stunned. The table erupts in chatter, mostly annoyed murmurs about Mary always doing this crap. Someone mentions that she's done it before, at least twice. The boss, trying to keep things civil, covers her portion and assures everyone it's fine. But I can see the frustration on his face. I mean, who wouldn't be pissed? Mary's antics are becoming legendary, and not in a good way. I decide then and there that I've had enough. I'm not going to let her get away with this, but I also know that calling her out directly will only lead to more drama, and I've got enough of that in my life. So, I hatch a plan. The next day at work, I keep my distance from Mary. She's all smiles, acting like nothing happened, probably assuming she's pulled another fast one. But I'm ready. During lunch, I casually bring up how fun the dinner was and how it's a shame she had to leave early. "Oh, Derek, it was such a disaster," she gushes. "My cat got sick and I had to rush home. Thanks for understanding." "Yeah, right." I nod sympathetically. "No problem. By the way, we're thinking of doing another team outing next week. Maybe something less fancy, more casual." She seems interested, which is exactly what I wanted. "Sure, sounds good. Let me know the details." Perfect. I spend the next few days rallying the team for a casual lunch outing at a local burger joint. It's the kind of place where you order at the counter and pay first. No chance for anyone to dine and dash. I make sure Mary's in the loop, emphasizing how laid back and fun it'll be. The day arrives, and we all head out. Mary's in her usual good spirits, probably thinking she's charmed her way out of another tight spot. We get our food, sit down, and start eating. Everyone's laughing, chatting, and for once, it seems like we're all getting along. Halfway through the meal, I casually ask Mary how she's planning to get home. She looks at me confused. What do you mean? Well, you didn't drive, right? Just wondering if you need a ride or something. She hesitates, probably wondering if there's a trap. Oh, I'll just catch a cab. No biggie. I nod, playing it cool. Got you. Just wanted to make sure you're covered. The rest of the meal goes smoothly, and when it's time to leave, Mary's all smiles. We step outside, and as everyone's saying their goodbyes, I drop the bomb. Hey, Mary, did you forget your wallet again? You didn't pay for your food. The look on her face is priceless. She fumbles for a moment, then laughs nervously. Oh, I must have forgotten. Can you spot me, Derek? I shake my head. Sorry, I'm tapped out. Guess you'll have to wash dishes or something. I'm sure everyone else is watching, and the boss is clearly annoyed. Mary's face goes through a range of emotions: shock, anger, embarrassment. Finally, she mutters something about an emergency and practically runs off. The team is stunned, and I can tell they're not sure how to react. But the boss steps in, covering Mary's bill once again. This time, though, I can see the determination in his eyes. Mary's days of freeloading are numbered. The next day at work is tense. Mary's avoiding eye contact, and I'm getting a lot of side glances from the team. Word spreads fast in an office, and by lunchtime, everyone knows what went down. I'm half expecting Mary to confront me, but she stays silent. By the end of the week, the boss calls a team meeting. He's got that serious look on his face that makes everyone sit up a little straighter. I've noticed a pattern of behavior that needs to be addressed, he starts. We're a team, and that means we support each other, but it also means we don't take advantage of each other. He doesn't mention Mary by name, but it's clear who he's talking about. She's sitting there, arms crossed, glaring at the table. The boss goes on about trust, accountability, and how we need to be better. It's one of those speeches that feels a bit like being scolded by your dad, but it's necessary. After the meeting, Mary storms out, and I know she's not going to let this go. I brace myself for whatever's coming next. Sure enough, the next morning she corners me in the break room. What the hell was that, Derek? I play dumb. What do you mean? You set me up, she hisses. You made me look like a fool in front of everyone. I shrug. You did that all by yourself, Mary. Maybe you should stop forgetting your wallet. Her face turns red, and for a moment, I think she might actually hit me. But instead, she just storms off, muttering curses under her breath. I feel a weird mix of satisfaction and guilt. I didn't want to be the bad guy, but I also didn't want to be her doormat anymore. Over the next few days, things get even weirder. Mary's icy with everyone, and the team's divided. Some think I did the right thing, while others think I went too far. It's like living in a soap opera, and I'm over it. But then, something unexpected happens. A week after the burger joint fiasco, Mary doesn't show up for work. No one's seen or heard from her, and the boss is getting worried. He tries calling her, but there's no answer. It's strange, even for Mary. By the second day of her no-show, the boss decides to send someone to check on her. He asks me, probably because he knows we've had our run-ins and figures I might be able to handle whatever's going on. I reluctantly agree and head to Mary's apartment. It's a small place, not far from work. I knock on the door, but there's no answer. I knock again, louder this time, and finally, the door creaks open. Mary's standing there, looking like she hasn't slept in days. Her eyes are puffy, and she's clearly been crying. Derek, what are you doing here? I'm taken aback. The boss sent me. You haven't been to work, and we were worried. She sighs and steps aside, letting me in. The place is a mess. Clothes everywhere, dishes piled up, and an overwhelming sense of despair. I sit down on the couch, unsure of what to say. "I've been dealing with some stuff," she admits, collapsing into a chair. "Family issues, financial problems, you name it." I feel a pang of sympathy. "Why didn't you say anything? We could have helped." She scoffs. "Right. Like anyone would care." I realize how isolated she must feel. "Look, Mary, I'm sorry for what happened, but you've got to understand. You can't keep taking advantage of people. We're all in this together." She nods, tears welling up again. "I know. I've been a jerk. I just didn't know how to ask for help." We sit in silence for a while, the weight of everything hanging between us. Finally, I offer her a ride to work and a fresh start. She hesitates, but eventually agrees. Back at the office, things are awkward at first, but slowly, Mary starts to change. She apologizes to the team, and gradually the tension eases. It's not perfect, but it's better. And as for me, I've learned that sometimes standing up for yourself means helping others stand up too. It's a lesson I won't forget. So that's my story. It's a bit messy, but hey, that's life. If you've ever had a devious coworker or found yourself in a similar situation, you'll understand. Just remember, a little honesty and a lot of patience can go a long way.